I have always looked at the fact that Black Americans vote around 90% for the Democratic Party.
Yes.
Which is weird. I mean, any demographic group voting that much in favor of one party sort of raises questions.
That's one of our favorite rap stars, a man called Zuby, huge in the UK, not well known in this country, kind of like the Beatles in 1962. On this show, a year ago tonight, he came and he expressed his concerns about the changing political atmosphere. He's one of a handful of rappers who have faced backlash for thinking for themselves and defying Democratic Party orthodoxy. Another example is rapper Lil Wayne, who visited the White House yesterday after tweeting out his support for Donald Trump. That did not go over well on the internet. He was attacked on social media pretty aggressively as some kind of sellout, as many others have been before him. Things didn't go better for rap star 50 Cent. He endorsed the president because of his tax policy. He said he didn't want to become 20 Cent. Here's an example of the reaction he got.
You heard about my ex-boyfriend, right? 50 Cent and his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah, what's going on between you? I saw your tweets and I go, wait, what's happening?
So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 Cent to 20 Cent. And I had to remind him that he was a Black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him.
Dumb is one thing, arrogance another, but to be dumb and arrogant together is pretty unappealing, I would say. Jason Whitlock is neither one of those things. He's a partner at Outkick.com. We're happy to have him tonight. Jason, why the kind of mania about trying to force certain people to stay in their prescribed lane? Why not just kind of ignore it, let it go? Like, some rapper wants to vote for Trump. Okay, who cares? But they do care. Why?
Because white liberals, just being very honest, like Chelsea Handler, think it's their job to control, maintain, limit the amount of freedom that Black people enjoy here in America. We are supposed to be beholden and dependent upon them. And it threatens them when people like Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, 50 Cent, any of these guys stray from their prescription or course of action that they want us to take. It threatens them. And it's her job as basically a modern day overseer to whip us back in line. And it really is that simple.
So she's disempowered by this because Lil Wayne, who she imagines she has some kind of authority over, him disobeying her means that she's less powerful?
It means that he is more powerful. And I honestly believe that not all, but there are a lot of white liberals who are threatened by the independence and the self-determination of Black people. They want us dependent upon them. There is a superiority complex. There is a you guys can't do it without us complex. Yeah. And there is a we want your vote and we want you in line with our feminist agenda. We want to meld the two off of the back of oppression that Black people have faced. We want to advance all these other things that have nothing to do with Black people.
The feminist agenda, I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, but I have the feeling it's very close to the heart of this. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, look, the greatest beneficiaries of the civil rights movement, in a lot of people's view, and certainly in mine, has been white women. And I'll go a step further. Women have advanced off of the oppression of Black people, white women in particular. And Tucker, I'm just going to go all the way there. I think we are now seeing the LGBTQ community latch on to Black oppression and try to use it to advance their cause. And anybody that strays from those agendas and that support, any person, Black person that puts their advancement and their priorities ahead of the feminist movement and the LGBT movement is going to face stiff repercussions over social media in particular. And there's going to be celebrities, white and Black, that are used like attack dogs to make sure that certain black men and others stay in line with the movement that the elite liberals want us to stick to, and that's the matriarchy, the empowerment of women, and the empowerment of the LGBT community.
Boy, you are not allowed to say any of that, which makes me think, I wanted to hear more about it. But it almost sounds like some of the people who are jumping up and down and making the most noise about how deeply they care about black people may not actually care quite as much as they say they do.
Well, one of the biggest mistakes we as black people make is we mistake affinity, affection, for respect and freedom. And affinity is not a substitute for respect. Affinity, a lot of times, and affection has almost everything to do with the giver. When you understand affection, that pleasures the giver as much, if not more, than the receiver. Respect pleasures the receiver and reveals the character of the giver. And so I just think one of the biggest mistakes that we as black people make, we think, oh my God, they like us. That doesn't mean they respect us. That doesn't mean they have their best interest, our best interest at heart. What it means is they like the pleasure they receive from the show of affection.
Yeah. It's a very, very deep point. And by the way, I think a lot of us make that mistake. Jason Whitlock, I'm glad you came tonight. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Tucker.